Today we're going to be putting this Isinwheel 14-inch together. This is this electronic e-bike. This is an e-bike that I got off Amazon. I liked it so much that I bought a second one. I bought it for $270 online, and with taxes and shipping, it came out to be around $300 total. More like $305. The first one I got, I put it together in around maybe 40 minutes, I would say. The process wasn't complicated, but it wasn't easy either, so I thought I would make a video to show you guys how to do this. All right, let's do this together. First, let's go into my trusty toolbox. Got a little box cutter to open this box up. The packaging is pretty good on this thing, and the shipping was pretty fast. I would say it came within 5 days. You do need a sign for the package when you get it, so make sure you're home when this package comes. Luckily, I was home when both of my packages came, so I was able to sign for it. The tracking on these packages aren't really accurate, and you never know when it's gonna come. So give yourself a little window of a couple of days for it to come a little bit earlier than expected. Alrighty. That's what it looks like inside the box so far. This box right here has the power and a few other things. Leave that on the ground right there. This is the seat. Let's take out some of this padding. Okay, even though this is not super heavy, it is such an awkward shape. So let's see what we can do. I remember the first time it was kind of weird. Alrighty. As you can see, that wasn't the most graceful looking thing you've ever seen. When you take it out of the box, there's this little flat platform thing that you can rest it on the ground and balance it. It comes with the front wheel disassembled, so that's what you're gonna have to put together. Also, the handlebar is folded down so it can fit in the box. The seat is out, and it's zip tied with a bunch of styrofoam padding. All in all, I would say the packaging is very good. It comes pretty compact. I didn't have a problem with my first bike, and this one looks exactly the same as my first bike. All right, we're gonna use these pliers to cut out all the zip ties. Be careful when you're using the pliers to cut the zip ties because you might be cutting some cables. You see these cables right here? They look exactly like the zip ties, so be very careful when you're cutting. Double check to make sure you're not cutting anything that you're not supposed to. Here's a zip tie next to the tires. There's a zip tie up here. That sets that free. I'm gonna start undoing some of this tape. The bike does have a weird chemically smell when you take it out of the box. So just to warn you, my first bike also had a weird smell. It's pretty strong. My senses of smell aren't very strong, so if I can smell something, it means that it smells pretty damn strong. Undoing the handlebars right here. I'm gonna rest it on the ground real quick when I remove the rest of this stuff. Almost there, guys, almost there. Look at this. This also happened to the first bike. There's a bunch of oil right here. It's very slimy looking, so I would recommend getting a piece of cloth or paper towel to clean this up so you don't get grease or oil all over your bike and hands. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. All right. Just wiping down that greasy part of the back of the bike so that I don't spread it around. I think that just might be some lubricant or something. It also happens to the first bike, so I'm pretty sure this is gonna be the same for all the bikes out there, and probably your bike if you get one too. Okay, I see that there are a few more cables that I gotta cut. There's a zip tie right here near the pedals. Also gonna take this covering off of this pedal right here. There's also a piece of tape right here. Let's go to the other side real quick. You can see on this side, you can uncover that. The bike is a little bit wobbly, so be careful that you don't tip it so it falls on the side. You don't want to scrape it before your first ride. Okay, there's one last zip tie right here. It is holding the front cover, front wheel cover. I'll show you guys how to put that on in a bit. Take off the plastic on the back wheel. Oh, there's one more zip tie. When I cut it out, I'm making sure it's not this brake line right here. Okay, everything looks like it's been cut that needs to be cut, and we're gonna start putting things together. This box right here is pretty useful because it comes with a bunch of tools that you can use to work on the bike. So if you don't have a bunch of tools of your own, you can go into this box. So as you can see in this box are some pedals, instructions and tools, and the front wheel peg or whatever this is. It's a little bar that goes and attaches the front wheel to the front axle. Okay, so I'm going to go into the bag of tools, get the instruction manual out because I might need to remind myself how to put this thing together. The first thing I recommend doing is putting together the handlebars. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna use an Allen wrench that comes with the kit and then loosen these up. This is not the right size. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You saw that? Almost fell over. There you go. This is the one. So I'm gonna loosen this up, loosen the other side up. Some of the parts on this bike are very greasy and oily, so just to warn you, these bolts are no different. So what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm going to temporarily put in the neck of the bike. Actually, I can already start tightening in the neck of the bike that I put in. There's little bolts here. What you're doing when you're tightening this bolt is you're making the neck expand so that it doesn't come out of the socket. The only problem is this area is so small that you're not turning the wrench that much to tighten it. There it goes. It's starting to get tight right now, finally, after like 100 spins. Okay, I'm not gonna tighten it too much so I can put the lever on. Okay, so there's where I'm gonna tighten it right here. Okay, it's gonna look something like that. I need to tighten the handlebar right here. I'm gonna go back down here. I'm gonna tighten this a little bit. That lever locks the handlebar so it stands up. I put in one bracket and then one bolt. Start manually screwing it in, and the other side as well. Ooh, my fingers are getting so oily. I'm gonna clean my hands on one of these foam thingies. Okay, got my Allen wrench. Now I'm just tightening the bolts so the handlebar stays on. When you're tightening things, don't super tight one side right away. You wanna kind of like make it so it's tight evenly on both sides before you over tighten anything. Now I'm gonna start tightening everything because both sides are kind of evenly secured. Make sure you don't scratch your display here with the Allen wrench, which I almost did. All right, that's pretty tight for the top, and I have one more to tighten on the bottom. Also, I just realized I did all that. This bottom one's not aligned correctly, so that's why you don't want to tighten everything up here. You kind of want to just loosely tighten it so that you can, after you put the wheel on, you can realign everything. All right, so let's put on the wheel right now so that we can make sure everything up here is aligned. See, now that it's aligned, this handlebar is kind of like not going straight, so we'll fix that later. What I want to do now is remove this wheel. It's kind of stuck in here. So this thing has to, this pedal has to go down a little bit so that this can get released. Actually, it had to go up. All right, so I released the wheel. Actually, that helped it become more balanced. So I have the wheel right here. So here's that bag with a little bar that goes in the wheel. You're gonna open that bag real quick. There's a piece of tape here I'm going to take off. I'm also going to take off all the nuts and bolts right now, so that I just have this. So right now I'm going to use a wrench, or one of the wrenches they supplied, to remove these bolts so that I can remove this base plate so that I can put this wheel on. Once you loosen it up a bit, you can just loosen the rest with your fingers. I'm going to do the same for the other side. Okay, so I did that. Now, once I just lift it up, I can just lift it off the base right here. And now this area is free. I'm gonna take these things off right here. Okay, once you put on the wheel, make sure this part of the wheel, where where you see the disc, it goes on the right hand side so that the brake can stop the wheel. So what I'm going to do is slide this in the wheel. Okay, something like that. Okay, I'm going to put one of these separators on one side and then another separator on the other side of the wheel. And once I do that, then I can just lift it up and slide it over the wheel. Okay, right now it's not on securely, but at least I have it on the bike. It's gonna take some maneuvering to get it directly. All right, I messed up this side and this ended up outside, so I gotta lift it up again. Okay, this side is the problem right here, and it's not going in. Okay, kind of got it. There you go. I would say that is the toughest part of this, is getting the wheel on here. You gotta make sure the wheel brake is slotted into this. Actually, I don't got it yet. This thing fell out again. Ah. Okay, I finally did it. Took forever. After you get that in, then you're going to use one of these pieces to lock this into the top. You see that? It's locked in there. Then you're going to put another washer. Then you're going to use this tightening bolt for one side. Then you're going to do that same thing for the other side. Actually, I don't know why I'm holding this bike right now, where I can just kick out this footrest right here and just have the bike resting right there. Okay, on this other side, put this locking piece on, and then I put this washer and this end cap right here. Okay, so now I'm going to use a dual wrenching action. On the other side, I'm going to hold this, and then on this side, I'm going to tighten it. Okay, that is pretty tight. Okay, that looks like it's on pretty securely. Now let's fix this issue with the wheel not being tight. So with any bike, I usually put two knees on the wheel, and then I turn the top. This turns right away, meaning something is loose inside. So I'm going to undo this top again. To loosen the neck, you gotta press up on this silver tip thing right here and then pull it out. And now the handlebar can go down. Okay, so I need to tighten this a little bit more. I feel like it's loose right now. Okay, let me put it back up to see if it's aligned before I tighten it. Okay, I would say that's pretty aligned. So I'm gonna lower the neck right here and tighten it some more. So pretty much this whole setup you can do with the tools that come with the package. It is very tight now. Once again, I'm gonna lock it. It looks pretty solid. I still need to put this thing on. So when you're putting this thing on, these two nuts right here, this is where you need to loosen up. You need another Allen wrench for this other side. It's a smaller one. Okay, I released it. Now I'm going to attach this. When you're attaching it, this shorter side goes to the front, and then this longer side protects the back. I made a mistake the first time and I did it the opposite way, and it was very wrong. It did not fit correctly. So remember, shorter side here goes to the front, but then you're supposed to install it from the back bolt right here. So I'm going to do that, and then loosely tighten this bolt in here, because you see these bars? These bars go into this bolt right here. So I'm going to loosen this bolt So I'm going to loosen this bolt with another Allen wrench that came with the set. You're going to have to take this off completely. Okay, and once you pull that off, you can move this one down, slot it through the hole, and then start tightening it. Okay, I had to undo the other side. I think it's easier if you do the side where the brake caliper is on first. We'll see on the other side if it does make it easier. Okay, that side's on. Let's see this side now. Okay, yeah, this side's gonna be so much easier. So remember, if you are doing this, attach it on the side of the brake caliper first. And then I can tighten up this bolt up here. Okay, that's tight. And this thing is very rigid now. Last thing we gotta do, put the seat on. So, gonna cut the zip tie on the seat. And then that's the seat right there. So as you can see, the neck of this seat isn't that long. So if you're tall, probably like 5'8" or taller, you're gonna probably need to get a longer stem, which you can install and switch out this bike seat. I did the same for my wife. My wife's 5'10", so this bike is too low for her, but installing a higher bike seat fixes the problem. Okay, so what we're gonna do is loosen this and then put the bike seat in. The way you tighten this bike seat, because I saw a lot of people online saying that their bike was defective, but in actuality, you have to find the right zone for this to tighten. So you have to like turn clockwise on this, it tightens it, and then you have to snap this. But see, right now it's easy to snap, so that means that the bike is not locking into place. So what I want to do is turn it clockwise a little bit more, and then try again. See, now I can lock it, and it's a little bit tighter, but you want it to be very tight. Like you can barely close it. And that's how you know it's tight enough. Okay, a little bit more. A little bit more. So turning it clockwise. Okay, that looks like it's tight right now. Even if I want to turn the seat, I can't do it. So I gotta loosen it a little bit. I'm short, so I'm gonna lower the seat pretty much almost all the way down. And then I'm gonna tighten it. There you go. Okay, I'm gonna take off this cover for the screen. You can see it real quick. These are the controls. This is throttle right here. Controls the speed of your bike. You can pretty much ride this bike without pedaling at all and just using the throttle. It's awesome. This is the bell right here. The brakes. When you ride this for the first time, make sure you check the brakes and the brakes are working. You don't want to be going real fast and then figure out that your brakes are not working, because you can get into a serious accident. This is the display right here. To turn it on, you're just gonna press M. Once you press M, right now you see I have half power, so I'm gonna charge it real quick just to get 100%. But you can also go plus and minus. You see, once I do that, these bars go up. This is how much assist you're gonna get from the battery. So the higher you do it, the more that the battery will assist you and make you go faster when you're pedaling. So if you don't want a lot of assist, just make it on 0. All right, to turn it off, you just press M. Also, a word of warning, when you come to a stop and you're getting off the bike, just turn this off. Make sure it's off, because you can accidentally press the throttle and the bike starts moving, gets out of control. It happened to my wife, so we now know to turn off the bike once you get off, because you don't want to accidentally press the throttle. All right, that's it. This is how you put together the Isinwheel 14-inch. As you can see, it wasn't too difficult, but also it wasn't too easy. But hopefully this video can walk you through on how to do that. Oh my God, I forgot to put in the pedals. Let's do that real quick. So the pedals, are the easiest thing to put on actually, because it tells you, you pay attention, this pedal is the right pedal and this pedal is the left pedal. So you just match this right pedal with the right pedal right here, this orange. I'm gonna take the sticker off. Peel the stickers off slowly and the sticker comes out smoothly. If you yank it off, and it leaves a residue and mess. So when you pull off stickers, pull them off slowly and they come off easily. Okay, so I'm going to, it tells you the directions you should screw it on. So you're gonna turn clockwise for the right one. So I'm going to screw it on slightly, and then you're gonna need to use a wrench to screw in the rest. All right, that's tight. So the left one obviously goes on the left-hand side, but this one you're gonna turn counterclockwise to screw it in. I was wrong. I thought that this matches the color of the sticker, but this sticker is orange too when this is blue, so be careful when you're putting it on. It does say left here. So once again, I'm gonna rip off this sticker very slowly so that I can take it all off. I'm not gonna yank it, just take my time. I'm gonna screw this on counterclockwise. Okay, they're both on. Oh, before I end the video, this is the power charger right here. Then you're gonna plug it in. There's a hole right here, you see? You're gonna plug the other end to power and then plug this in right there, and that will charge your bike. All right, guys, and that's the bike right there. For your viewing enjoyment, this bike is super fun. It's only 300 bucks, which is wild. It's very nicely built. I told you, I already bought one. We liked it so much, I bought it for my wife, and then I got jealous, so I had to buy my own. Now we can ride together. Hope you guys found this video useful. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.